Coach Rob here, and I hope that you are doing great. I am going to talk about in this video the most common issue, the most common problem I see with women deadlifting and how to fix it, okay? The most common problem I see with women deadlifting and how to fix it. Hi Bella, if you're new to this channel, my name is Rob King, aka Coach Rob, and the owner and creator of Women Who Lift Weights, and I love helping women get stronger. So let's talk deadlift. Bella, behave please. Let's talk deadlift and the most common problem that I see most women having when it comes to the deadlift. Now, if you are a little bit new to deadlifts, this is perfect for you. If you are a little bit advanced, then you might already have made this mistake and fixed it, okay? Either way, it's a very common issue, and I've coached literally thousands of women since I've had my gym for the last 15 years. So I've coached thousands of women of all ranges, all sizes, all ages. And this is one big common fault, one big common issue that I see, a big common mistake in the deadlift. So let's get into it, okay? The biggest issue with most women in the deadlift is that they think about picking the weight off the floor instead of thinking about pushing the floor away from them, okay? And what this causes usually is two main big technical deadlift faults, okay? I'm gonna go from the side for this one for a second. What happens is, if you deadlift and you think about picking the weight off the floor, one of two things usually happens, okay? First thing is usually your upper back rounds and you become like a fishing pole, okay? Because it's the easiest way for the bar to break off the floor, but it's not the best way for the bar to break off the floor. So let me explain, okay? I'm gonna show you the two common mistakes when you think about picking up the weight off the floor versus pushing the floor away from you. So often in the deadlift, is somebody will start and they'll basically try to pull the bar. And you can see what happens as soon as I do that, my upper back starts to kind of like hook a little bit, okay? Rounds, okay? The second thing that happens often is, this usually happens with a bit more experience, is you'll start to lift the weight off the floor and the bar doesn't move off the floor immediately. And then what happens is the hips rise, okay? So you might start your deadlift and the weight doesn't move, and then all of a sudden this happens, okay? Which is kind of known as a stripper deadlift. A stripper deadlift is essentially when the hips come up really high and then you start your pull, okay? So I'm gonna demonstrate both incorrectly. Upper back rounding, hips rising before the shoulders, and I've got Bella helping me. Okay, so incorrect deadlift number one is you focus on picking the weight off the floor, and then your shoulders round and you're in a very poor position, okay? Number two, you start to do your deadlift and the weight doesn't come off the floor and the hips come up and now I'm in a bad position, okay? How do we fix this, all right? How do we fix this? It's a very simple fix, but requires a lot of practice, all right? Here's what I want you to do. Two things. Thing one, don't think about pushing or don't think about pulling the bar off the floor. Think more about pushing the floor away from you, taking the bar with you, okay? The deadlift is really known as a pull. You know, you'll always hear, how much did you pull, or you know, this and that. But a deadlift is very much a push as much as it is a pull, okay? So let's break it down. First things first is, don't think about picking the weight off the floor. Think about getting tight and pushing the floor away from you, okay? Push the floor away. This is a big one on deadlifts. Get those quads into your deadlift. Push the floor away, okay? The second important thing to do is to really get your upper back, okay? Your shoulders, your scap, all the musculature of your upper back super tight. Now there's a cue for this. It's called the anti-shrug, okay? So if I'm here and I shrug, okay? This is great for your traps. This is not great for your deadlift. What you want to do is the opposite, shrug down, okay? It's called anti-shrugging. So if you watch my hands, this is normal, okay? Look at where my hands are now. Shrug, anti-shrug. So I'm pulling my shoulders back and down, and I'm choking off my lats really hard. A good cue is don't let somebody tickle you, okay? So think long arms, shoulders back and down, all right? What this is going to do is help you create more stiffness in your upper back so that when things get heavy, you don't break form, okay? It's also very important that when you're deadlifting that your hips and your shoulders have to rise at the same time. If the shoulders start to rise and the hips don't, you're in trouble. If the hips start to rise and the shoulders don't, you're in trouble. So hips and shoulders, same time. So again, reviewing those two important cues to not have that big mistake in the deadlift. Number one, get tight and push the floor away. Number two, get your upper back super tight. So I'm going to demonstrate, okay? So from here, I'm really going to squeeze the bar hard, put my shoulders in my back pocket. Now my upper back is tight. From here, I'm going to focus on pushing the floor away and taking the bar with me. Okay? Not shrugging, keeping my arms down and long, back tight. So let's do it from the front. Okay, again, biggest mistake is thinking about picking up the bar off the floor. Never do that, okay? Get super tight with the bar, the floor, get your upper body tight, push the floor away. So, demonstrate again. I'm going to get very tight, get my ear, create tension. Wedge hard, push the floor, upper back tight, back to the floor. Okay, give it a try. Again, most common issue. Don't pick the weight up off the floor. Get tight to the bar, get your upper body tight, push the floor away. Give it a try, and if this helps, let me know. Cheers.